It's true. I'm in my bathrobe, but I have clothes on underneath, so it's okay. I have a box of Cheez-its with me because I'm really, really hungry, and also because Cheez-its are addicting. Addictive. Addicting? Addictive? My room is in the basement. I've explained this before, so I don't really get very good lighting. Also, I'm on a bed, so this is a little bumpy. The sound quality for my laptop is never good, so I think we all know that. I just finished, or didn't really finish, finished a couple days ago, the book Graceling by Kristen Kishore. I think that's how you say her name. And it's the first book in a series, a trilogy. The first book is Graceling, the second book is Fire, and the third book is Bitter Blue. And so today we're going to be talking about Graceling, which is one of my favorite books ever. Ever. It is not like any other adult or young adult fiction that you have ever read, really. It's totally unique. The concept is completely its own. Like it doesn't fall into any kind of category that I can put it in. I don't have enough descriptive words to talk about this book. So let's start really quickly with the non-spoiler stuff because I can start giving stuff away really easily. So quickly, I'll just explain what it's about. The first book focuses on a girl named Katsa, and she lives in a kingdom, a land of 7 kingdoms, and her kingdom is called the Midlands. Throughout the land, there are children born who, after they're born, their eyes change different colors. They have one color, one eye one color, and one eye the other color, or a different color, and that means that they're a Graceling, and Gracelings have special powers. It can be anything from holding your breath for really, really long, being the best swimmer, eating rocks, um, like mind reading. There are like different levels of graces that you can have. And pretty much every Graceling in each of the kingdoms is sent to the king because they immediately become property of the king. In this case, Katsa is the niece of the king of the Midlands. She is a Graceling, and her grace, at the beginning of the book, we find out that her grace is basically killing. And there's a story that goes along with that I won't give away. And Katsa, although she's in the service of the king, so of the Midlands, so she has to do whatever the king of the Midlands wants, and he often sends her to go kill people that he doesn't like or to cause pain to people that have been opposing him. He's kind of cruel that way. She doesn't really like doing that, so she started this thing called the Council. And the Council helps and does good things for people and like protects them and saves them and rescues them from disaster. And so she's on a council mission, and she just rescued the grandfather of the lineage, Prince Po. Po is the prince, the prince of another land in the sea. Like you have to travel by boat to get there. Um, Linead. I always pronounce in my head Linead. It may be pronounced, other people probably pronounce it differently, but in my head it's Linead. I think it's spelled Lienid. So I kind of like switched it around, but that's okay. They're trying to figure out who basically kidnapped the grandfather. I recommend it to basically everyone, although actually I'd put an age limit on it. Some of it can get really, really creepy. You know how when you read Harry Potter when you were younger and Lord Voldemort scared you out of your wits because you're like, this guy's freaky and he's scary and I don't like him? No, it's not that kind of scary. This book is scary because the evil in it is real. It's evil that isn't magical or mystical or fantasy. It's things that people in this world do. It's frightening to read, especially at night because I couldn't sleep. Like in my basement, thankfully my aunt is in my room temporarily. We're sharing a room, so we're roomies. Thankfully I have someone in my room to sleep with me because I don't think I could sleep in this basement by myself after I read a couple of these chapters. So I'd probably put an age limit on it, like 16 years old. Anywhere 16 or older, you could probably read it and not be too freaked out by it. But anything younger, I would say don't because you'll shatter your universe. Now this is the part where the spoilers come. Spoilers! This is for all you out there who have read the book and know what's going on. So now we can have a little bit of a discussion. And by discussion, I mean me talking to the camera. Let's start with the basic concept of the book, which is this Graceling idea. I love the idea of graces. There's always books out there that try and invent something new to capture your attention because they want to be unique. This is unique in a way that is effortless. Um, I love Katza. I love Katza. I love her as the main character. Often we get girls, the main character, who it's either one of the two. They start off weak and become strong, or they start off strong and learn their weaknesses. Katza is the latter. She starts off strong and learns her weaknesses. I guess you could say more than being weak to strong. But she's different because she almost starts off as a bad guy or like an antagonist in a book. You would suspect her of being the bad person instead of the good person, so you're not really sure why you're reading about her because she doesn't seem all that great. But the more you read, the more you find out about her, and the more you understand who she is. On the exterior, she seems pretty ruthless and pretty vile, but as you read the book, you get to the softer inside, under the shell. She wants to be a better person. So Kristen Kishore makes this book. She turns it from, in the beginning, Katza being almost an antagonist to a really protagonist character. I love the plot twists. I don't know about you. Normally when I read a book, I can call out things. I'm just be like, oh, this is going to happen at the end. Oh, this is going to happen at the end. Yeah, this is totally obvious. With this book, I had nothing. Literally maybe one or two. One of the two obvious things, like King Lek being Graceling, that was totally obvious. I was like, he has a bandage over one eye. Duh. Don't you hate it when characters just don't understand things and you're like, come on, this isn't that hard. It's so simple. Just think about it for a second. With this book, I didn't have that problem where I was calling plot twists out before they happened. King Lek dying at the end. Normally in a book, we don't get the main character or the main antagonist to die at the very end of the first book in a trilogy. But in this case, he does. And I'll tell you why I like that. It was totally unexpected. Who here thought that she was going to kill him? When he showed up at the palace at the end, we were like, oh shiz, what's going down? What's going to happen? But then she killed him, and you're like, I wasn't expecting that. And why I like it is because it sets up the rest of the series to be what happens after you kill the antagonist character. The years after the bad guy is what this series focuses on, which makes it totally unique. I don't know what else to say about how awesome that is. There are lots of good details and descriptions. There's maps at the beginning of the book so you can kind of get a sense of where everything is and the placement of the kingdoms. It's not that complicated that you can't plan it out in your head, which is also good because I have trouble with those books that is all detail. This isn't all detail. The things I don't like about this book. Okay, this is a small one, but at the end, I hate how she calls Bitterblue child all the time, and I can't understand the intonation that she uses. So whenever she says, come here, child, do this, child, get on the horse, child, I'm just like, I don't like this. Another problem I have with the books is Poe and Katz's relationship. And before anyone jumps down my throat, I love Poe and Katza, and I love how they're together, and I love the developing of their relationship, and I love their relationship. What I don't like about their relationship is that Katza feels that she can't commit herself to Poe, or like she can't marry him because then she would be his. She just barely got away from the king of the Midlands, her uncle, who was a total jerk. I understand that she would have a hard time marrying Poe because she didn't want to be considered someone's, and so they became lovers instead. And I understand the theories behind that. What I don't like is that it gives the message that marriage isn't a partnership. That's something I have a problem with just on a basic level because I think marriage is a partnership. They own each other. One doesn't own the other, if that makes sense. Those are really the only two things I didn't like. The only worry that I have with this book is someone is going to find it and someone is going to try and turn it into a movie because we all know that's what people do. As soon as this book gets popular, as soon as people start reading it and telling their friends about it, someone's gonna decide to turn it into a movie, and that's just gonna be terrible. This book, a lot of it takes place in the mind, because the people who are watching this now know that Poe is a mind reader. So he and Katza have conversations in his mind. And it's not out loud. Like, it's not something you can describe. And we all know how bad it was with the host when they did that. Maybe you liked it, maybe you didn't. I was one of the people that didn't like it, and I thought it was kind of cheesy. That's what's going to happen with this book. If they turn it into a movie, I'm probably going to have to protest. Potentially lay myself down in front of, I don't know, a bulldozer. Why they would have a bulldozer, I don't know. But it's the gesture that counts. I possibly need to stop. Also, I need to stop because my throat is hurting. If you like this review, subscribe, comment, thumbs up if you're a Graceling, thumbs down if you're King Leck. Oh, wimpy of Katniss. Katniss? No, Katza. Oh my gosh. That's another problem I have. Katza is way too close to Katniss. You can see the reasoning behind that problem, right? Like, I'm not the only one who says Katniss when you mean Katza, and the other way around. I have no idea what I'm doing. Adjusting. I have no idea. Oh my god, they're really good. I'm so cool. A lot of these plot twists, okay, I just threw up words.